Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rizano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University of Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 galaxies. But, ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call this show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in the great state of Illinois. Well, I'm from Missouri, and I'm from the United States, and we like to say Illinois. I don't know the correct pronunciation, but we'll go with that. We are, ladies and gentlemen, we are on I-57 here in the great state of Illinois. Yesterday, I had a chance to visit my brother and my parents. So me and my brother, we spent a few minutes together. We spent a couple of hours together. It was nice seeing my brother. My brother, one thing about my brother, he loves a plan. As I've told you before, I've told you in this podcast, if you a real episodes, you know that brother of mine and sprinkled into the show. This brother of mine, I'll tell you, he was the inspiration for me trying to figure out what can I do in life to make some money, okay? Because this brother of mine was always, from the time we was children, this brother of mine, he was always looking, searching. And it used to be funny to me when I was younger, and I said, what is he talking about, Because he was always trying to come up with something. Hey, we should do this. We should do that. We should sell this. We should sell that. Blah, 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 blah. And, I'm not going to lie. When I used to come home from a long night of working at the prison, and my brother would be sitting there, and he would be watching an infomercial about, selling real estate and doing this and doing that. And he'd be like, yeah, hey, man, come watch this with me. And I'm like, not again. And it was he's good. I'll give him that. He's good. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about a few things. This is going to be a mixed bag episode. This episode is going to be, we're going to talk a little bit about time. We're going to talk about a little bit about productivity. And we are going to talk about happiness, identity, and things of that nature. Now, everybody that's listening to this show, I'm going to tell you this right now. One of the biggest mistakes that we all make, I've made it, you might have made it, you might be making it right now, is when we take in too much information when we should be producing. You know why? Let's talk about this. When you learn to drive a car, okay? You learn to drive a car. I can't. Sorry about that. You learn to drive a car, okay? I record these shows, and I've recorded these shows in various places. I recorded the episode in the hospital when my wife was giving birth. I recorded this show out in the middle of dead Texas, And I always think sometimes when I'm trying to record and I hear a noise and I'm like, I really just gotta get a space to where everything's blacked out, to where there's no noise, there's no, I am not gonna miss recording in the back of a truck. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna miss recording that way, because sometimes you hear things, you hear noises, and you're like, what is that? What is this? What is that? But anyway, let's get back to the driver's license. That was just for anybody who thinks I need this amount of space and that amount of space to record. Listen, you can record a podcast anywhere on God's green earth, okay? But anyway, let's get back to this. Productivity. Productivity and overlearning. Now, when you got your license, I remember my dad took me out couple times on a weekend, drove around. I remember I went, studied the book a little bit, got my permit. I got my permit. We went out a couple more times, and then I started driving. And my dad was like, "Hey, here's the keys." You know, I remember first I would drive to. He would let me drive a little bit around town I grew up in. Did a little bit of that, and then I would drive to work, come back, and then I started driving further out. Then one time I remember I went 20 miles up the road. But the point I'm trying to make is, after about 3 or 4 lessons, we stopped that and I got my permit. I started the driving. And what I'm trying to tell you is, sometimes we overlearn. Sometimes we overthink. Sometimes you just have to start to do. Sometimes you just need to be productive. I remember at one point when I first started this whole shindig, I would listen to all these podcasts. I would listen to all this stuff. I would read all this stuff online, and this, that, and the other. And, man, I gotta get this business started. And then I got to thinking one day, and I said, when are you gonna start writing? When are you gonna start making podcasts? When are you gonna start producing content? When are you gonna really start drumming up business for yourself? You're helping everybody else out by listening to the show, this, that, and the other. So what I'm trying to tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, if you have 30 podcasts, you have to cut some of them out. And I don't care which podcast you cut out, but for your sake, I'm telling you, you have to cut down some shows and cut down some podcasts, cut down some videos you watch, and that goes into productivity and time. Because you need time to think, you need time to, focus on what you want to do. You need to focus on things that you want to get done. The more you're able to do that, the better off you will be for you. You cannot sit there, and we do this a lot nowadays because we have phones. Sometimes we do too much. You need to listen to this, you need to listen to that, you need to read this book, read that book. Man, I love reading books. It's great. But sometimes you need to actually do the things that's inside the book. You know what I mean? It's like when I read the Bible, I will read the Bible, and then I will read the Bible every day, and then I stop. And then I give myself 5 to 10 minutes to just think about what I read. Because sometimes it is hard to, I need 5 to 10 minutes just to figure out, how that can apply to me. What do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to get better to understand the Bible, So sometimes you just need to take 5 to 10 minutes to figure out what you read. How can you apply it to your business, and if it's real good, if it's something that you want to really keep hold with you, you can jot a few notes down, keep the notes, I'm telling you, buy some index cards so you can do this. You can't just sit there. This is why TV is called the idiot box. It's the idiot box because you can watch TV. I can watch. If I'm sitting at home and let's say I wanted to watch 10 episodes of Seinfeld, I'm gonna watch 10 episodes of Seinfeld back to back to back to back to back. There's no real thought behind it. I enjoy the show. I laugh. I like the show. Seinfeld and Andy Griffith, those are two of my favorite shows. I watch those shows. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I laugh. I giggle. I go on about my business. There's no thought to it, you know. But there's something that if there's like a biography or something like that, you know, something that you read, something that you thought, you know, take 5 to 10 minutes, figure out how you can work with it with your business and apply it to yourself. You want to start getting to the point where you don't have to watch a lot of things. You don't need to read, 2,000 books. Yeah, do you need to read books? Of course. Do you need to study things? Of course. Can you study people? Of course you can. But give yourself some breathing time. Give yourself some time to think about what you just read. Why did you read that? Why did you pick that? And then go. I'll give you an example. I just read a book about Harry Truman. It was a long book, but for me, it helped a lot. Harry Truman he didn't go to college. He didn't graduate, and he became president of the United States. He fought in the war. He did that. He became a senator. He took steps. There was not like there was not like a great, just a straight shot to the top, for Harry Truman. It's not like, because if you know anything about Barack Obama, he was a state senator, and then he became a state senator, then he made a great speech at the Democrat convention party, and, he was senator for a minute, and then he became president because everybody liked Barack Obama. He was a charming personality, engaging guy. He shot to the top. But for Harry Truman, the build was slow. And for me, that's how things always work for me. So I can relate more to Harry Truman than I can Barack Obama, You know what I mean? And so sometimes you have to sit there and you say, okay, how can I start this? How can I start this slow build? And then you think about that. And then I thought I am on a slow build, because I'm doing the show, blah, 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 blah. But this is not about me. But I'm just giving you an example. But for Harry Truman, the build was slow, and I can relate to that. So I relate to people that build things in a slower form, because I do, according to my wife, I do a lot of things slow, like marriage, having kids at the age of 42. So a lot of things that I do are on the slow side, and so I can relate to Harry Truman. And so I sat there yesterday after I left my parents' house and left my brother. So I drove for 15 minutes, and I just thought about what more can I do to start to really build this slow climb, because, I'm going there. With going there, what can I do to be more productive? What can I do? And then the time aspect. So, to be more productive, I'm just going to tell you this right now. To be more productive, you want to cut back on things that you watch. Because if you ever think about it, the 5 minutes, if you're sitting around and you have 5 minutes to spare, a lot of times we all have this bad habit of just grabbing the phone and spending 5 minutes watching nothing. You can take those 5 minutes and you can be productive. You'll be amazed what 5 minutes can get you. I can record a show in 5 minutes. You can make a YouTube video in 5 minutes. So 5 minutes is 5 minutes. And so be productive, watch stuff, listen to stuff, learn from stuff, but don't make it a job, okay? Learn and go. Learn and go. Learn and go, Hey, listen, if you're listening to 20 podcasts and this is one of the podcasts and you cut me out and you become successful, bravo. I'm all for that. You know what I mean? And I hope that for everybody that listens to this show, that they become the success that they want to be. And like we talked about before, success ain't about how much money you make. Success is, being proud of the things that you doing. Sometimes success is merely just going outside the norm that people think you would do, you know? Success is you taking a stand and saying, "Hey, I am going to take charge of my life." You know, that's being successful. So do that. When it comes to time, everybody, we all know we waste a lot of time sometimes. Get off the YouTube. You know, it's not about YouTube. It's not about YouTube. It's about what you watch on YouTube. And we all know sometimes we fall down rabbit holes. And before you know it, you done watch three stupid videos, and you're like, that's 30 minutes of my life. What happened? When you find yourself, when you watch one video, be in the present. A lot of times we live in the past, we live in the future. Be in the present. The more present you are, the better you will be. Every now and then, I still get into the habit. I'm like, let me watch one of these videos. One video turns to two videos. And then I go, oh. And the second video, I stop. I go, hey, we got things to do. Okay, buddy? We got things to do. There's a lot of things we could be doing. And so, when it comes to time, the videos, the friends, the family, make a schedule for yourself. Say, you know, listen, if you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, when nobody else is around, you can be very productive for an hour or so, you know? I'm telling you. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of the conversation that you have. The only people I talk to on the phone is my wife, my mom, my best friend. I've cut down the phone conversations quite a bit. We have things to do. You should cut down the phone conversations as well, because a lot of times, if you ever talk to people, they give you the dribble dropper. They talk about nothing. You know what I mean? And so time is infinite, but the time to do stuff is now, you know. And a lot of times you want to do stuff, boys and girls, when you don't want to wait until you're 70 to be like, hey, I want to start this and start that. I ain't saying it can't be done, but at the same time, try to do it when you try to anything you want to do it when you have peak energy, okay? If you love the right when you have the peak energy. Whatever time you have peak energy, do the thing that you want to do, okay? Don't wait till you get bogged down. Don't wait until it's been a long day and you're like, ooh, let me try this out. You know, once you get better at writing, once you get better at whatever the thing that you want to do with your time, once you get better at it, then you'll be able to do it when you're tired. You'll be able to do it this, that, and the other. But before get into the habit of doing it, and then do it whenever. But before, try to do it with the peak energy. But you should always do it with peak energy. But then, you know, it's like I can do 2, 3, 4, 5 podcasts a day if I want to. I can do 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes. Even when I'm tired, I know how to ramp it up, you know, get it up, get the energy, and go. But for some people, when you get started, it's like, you know, because when you peak energy, you have the energy, you're like, all right, I'm going to go. And you say, oh, but when you're tired, you go, man, I don't even feel like working out today. You know, then you start coming up with stories. You start coming up with excuses. And then you don't work out. And then you never work out. And it just becomes so, you know, figure that out. But just go. Just don't waste time. There's a lot of times that we waste time. We waste time watching others people's. We waste time watching other people's parades when we should be building our own float. You know what I mean? So take that and run with it. All right. And now, last thing we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about identity. Ladies and gentlemen, the one thing that you should never do, you are you. You're not, and what I mean by that is a lot of times people label you. My friend, he came to visit me. He came to visit me. He came to visit me Easter, I believe, and it's funny. He said, somebody said, "Hey," and he said, "Hey, I'm the donut guy," and then I said, "Hey, come on, mate. Today you just come on, okay? You're not the donut guy. You just come on." He's like, people they know, and it's like, man, you are you. You're not a label. You're not always what you do. You know, whenever I go to warehouses, sometimes I used to work for this company, JB Hunt. They would go, "Hey JB," and you say, "Hey JB," and that's what people will call you. It's like, I'm not JB Hunt. You know what I mean? Like, I work there, but that's not my identity. But people when I first started driving trucks, people say, "Are you a truck driver? Are you a truck driver? You're a truck driver, trucker, this, that, trucker, that." No, I'm not a truck driver. I am me, and you are you. You're not your race. You're not your sexuality. A lot of people these days, they identify with too many things. They want to be they are gay, transgender, trans this, trans that, and it's like, you are just you, and you can be whatever you want to be, and that's the whole point of this. There's no, don't put yourself in a box. A lot of times we put ourselves in boxes. You go, what do I know? I'm just this. I don't know about that because I am this. And the identity, the identifying, a lot of times, because I watched this video the other day and it baffled me. They were talking about abortion, okay? And whether you believe in abortion or not, that's up to you. I don't believe in abortion. That's just me personally. But, it is what it is. And so the lady was talking about abortion. And this is 2023. And she was talking about slavery. And a lot of times, in the United States, in the black community, people love to bring up slavery. And slavery happened. Don't get me wrong. I know slavery happened. But that was 150 years ago, 200 years ago. And it's been a few generations for myself and for others. And their families haven't, I'm sure haven't been slaves in what, 150, 200 years? Been a long time. But people still bring it up. And it's like, why are you identifying as, why are you trying to talk about abortion in 2023 when you have all the contraceptives? You have all the things, and the lady was like, "Oh, they're raping." Lady, nobody is raping. Nobody's just going out and just raping. And people are like, "Oh, we allow that." Like, that was 150 years ago. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, in the black community, race has identifying as a black person struggling from the man has hurt people. It slows down progress. You are you, It doesn't matter where you come from. It does not matter, how you start. Because people always want to talk about, "Oh man, we didn't know this, we didn't know that," but now you know. And if you know something now, like I told you before, My parents they did not get financial advice from their parents. Okay, they did not get financial advice from their parents, or they never came to me and said Tony, the reason why we ain't rich is because my mama ain't teach me nothing. No, my parents, they moved in together, they had us, they figured out this thing called life, and they went on, and they passed things that they learned down to me and my brother. And so me and my brother, you take that, it's not an identity. I don't say, man, if it wasn't for my parents, man, I could do this and I could do that. No, I don't blame them for nothing. There's nothing to blame. They did the best they could. There's no identity. There's no, oh man, because I'm black in America, I'm broke, I'm struggling, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. No, there's no identity. Identity will hold you back. It's like when people say, teachers, or, why can't, man, gay teachers this, they gay teachers that, like, why is a teacher gay? Why is a teacher straight? I don't want my daughter to, you don't have to identify yourself as nothing. The only thing that a teacher should be doing is teaching a class. Does not matter what you do. What you do in your personal life is your business. But people want to identify. People love to identify, especially like in the gay community. People love to identify. I'm gay. I'm this, I'm that. Okay. You're gay. I don't need to know that. I don't care. It's not a, this, that, and the other, but you are you. When you're at work, you're at work. We don't need to know about your husband, your boyfriend. It does not matter if you're gay or straight, honestly. Can you do the job? Because I know they always say, oh, there's gay athletes in the major sports. Who cares? When you go to a game, when you're rooting for Manchester United, if somebody is gay and they're scoring 3 goals a game, who gives a damn? You know what I mean? Like, who cares? Identifying, putting yourself in the box will hurt you more than you know. Okay? So you are just you. It does not matter where you come from. It does not matter what you do. It does not matter what brought you to the table. The most important thing is when it's something that you want to do, go for it. If you've been a accountant for 12 years and all of a sudden you have a change and you say, hey, I want to do XYZ, and go get started today. I listened to my favorite podcast, How I Built This, besides this podcast, of course. I listened to my favorite podcast that I don't host, How I Built This, and the guy, he was a lawyer, and he said, I didn't want to be a lawyer anymore. So he started focusing on making ice cream. He made ice cream, it became successful, and he moved on. And so there's no, and if he would have just stuck with the, hey, I'm a lawyer label, then he would have never came up with an ice cream. And so a lot of times we make the mistake of just putting ourselves in a box and just living in that box. Well, people think I'm a screw up, so I'm gonna be a screw up. Oh, I cheated on my husband, cheated on my girlfriend, I'm a cheat. No, you can improve, you can get better. You are you. So at the end of the day, it does not matter race, creed, color, identity, all that don't matter. Job, title, none of that matters. You are you. And if there's something that you want to do, if there's something that you feel the urge to do, then go out there, do it. Don't play the blame game. Just go do it. Figure it out. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is it. We are done. We might be back tomorrow for our new episode of Online Marketing Moves. It'll be Motivational Sunday, but we'll definitely hear from me on Monday. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. God bless. My name is Tony Rizzano. Oh, yeah, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, go ahead, Tony at TonyRizzano.com. Email me. Let me know. Let me know what you got going on. Let me know you're enjoying the show. Let me know that you are listening. Go back, download all the episodes, everybody. Listen to them. Hey, if you need some motivation, you need some hey, I can do this, I can do that, I can do anything. Listen to the show from the beginning, and you'll see the improvements. You'll see the work. Go back, download all the episodes. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Don't forget, email the show. Hit me up. And we'll be back tomorrow with the all-new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Rizzano. God bless. And as always, everybody, peace.